Hey everyone, this is Daniel from PhoneArena with a video review of the Samsung Galaxy Mega 6.3. As the name suggests, it is currently the phone with the largest screen diagonal out there and is not to be disregarded only for that. The specs can be considered mid-range for this year, as the handset is still venturing towards appeal with an existing or imaginable for Samsung marketing niche. These users would be people who use the handset mostly for media, browsing and games rather than actual talking, and want their display as big as possible this side of a tablet screen. The first impression about the phone is darn, it's big. Just how big? Let's see it compared with the LG Optimus G Pro, which is no small potato in its own right. It just looks smallish compared to the Samsung Galaxy Mega 6.3. Second impression is that the phone is in fact rather thin, with a slim bezel and this classy faux metal rim around the sides, and a very nice looking pattern on the back which spans at the front as well. Despite the cool looks and the svelte waistline, it is almost impossible to operate the Mega 6.3 with one hand. You'd be lucky if you don't drop it trying to pull down the notification bar. Let alone while fumbling for the back key way down here on the right. To cut a long story short and deal with the question on everyone's mind, yes, you can hold the phone with an average or larger palm, but not operate the handset with one hand. You'd have to shrink the keyboard and the dialer left or right first, depending on which hand you're using it with. Otherwise, it would literally be a stretch to key in anything or write a quick text message reply. Two hands are your best bet, and that's the price to pay for a giant display. As for carrying it around, you'd better have baggy pants with deep pockets and stretch fabric, or sport a purse. There are only two buttons interrupting the metal imitating rim around the side here. The power lock key on the right is well situated, very easy to feel and press, while the volume rocker on the opposite side is a bit too flush with the surface and has a shallow tactile feedback. The 6.3-inch LCD panel sports 720 by 1280 pixels HD resolution with a pretty decent 233 ppi pixel density. But this is not a sassy Full HD panel, yet it is a far cry from the 480 by 800 pixels abomination on last year's 5-inch Galaxy Grand, for example. Color representation is vivid, though not OLED style saturated, and the display has very good viewing angles. Peak brightness is slightly above average for an LCD panel at 450 nits in the middle, but has an even distribution going to sub 400 nits around the corners, which is typical for such large panels. While brightness seems enough on paper, we'd wish a bit less reflectivity outside under direct sunlight. When viewing the image on the screen is a challenge. The newest TouchWiz Nature UX 2.0 as found on the Galaxy S4 is what's painted over Android 4.2.2 here, with some of the hand gestures and eye tracking bells and whistles that are present on the flagship. Samsung has thankfully provided a dedicated landscape mode for the interface, which helps when you turn the phone sideways and are holding it with two hands. A 1.7 GHz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 is running the show, which we actually see for the first time, and paired with the unorthodox 1.5 GB of RAM to boot. Benchmarking reveals pretty run-of-the-mill results, but the chipset does its job well, without lag or stuttering in the interface or while loading apps. The Mega 6.3 comes with the non-Mega 4 GB of storage, of which only about 2 are user available, but you have a micro SD card slot for expansion, which is situated right on top of the micro SIM compartment and next to a generous 3200 mAh replaceable battery. Let's see how it scores in quadrant. 7,036 points, which is a pretty decent result, though nothing outstanding. The proven TouchWiz browser is what Samsung supplies with the handset, which has one of the fastest rendering engines around, plus native Adobe Flash support. Needless to say, browsing on the 6.3-inch display is a sheer joy. Due to its large size, it's akin to browsing on one of the smaller tablets, and we aren't kidding. Samsung has put a 1.1 megabits per second HSP plus 4G radio and its usual Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0 assisted GPS, NFC and FM radio set. Well, it's not the usual Wi-Fi, as the Mega 6.3 supports the fast 802.11 AC standard, known as 5G, as it supports gigabit speeds, as long as you have the respective router at home, which are few and far between right now. Samsung split view gallery mode is a godsend here on this screen size, as you can quickly pick and zoom folders with the images and video content in them. The music player sports the usual abundance of functionality with a number of equalizer presets, as well as a couple of surround sound modes thrown in. Look at the sheer number of those presets. You also have the useful Adapt Sound Tech and the Smart Volume option, which automatically adjusts each track to an equal level. You also have voice control. The loudspeaker is pretty strong and with clear and full enough sound. Volume down. Volume down. Next. You can control the music player with your voice. Next. The phone played every popular format of video thrown at it, including MKV DivX X50 files up to 1080p resolution, as you can see. That's an MKV 1920 by 1080 movie. The player supports subtitles, live zooming, a number of sharing options, as well as the pop-up play function that detaches the screen here and puts it on top of whatever else you're doing underneath, which is a pretty useful feature on this giant display. The 8 megapixel camera module on the back of the Mega 6.3 sports an LED flash and is joined by a 1.9 megapixel unit at the front, capable of HD video recording. The camera app offers the newest interface from Samsung with best photo, drama and HDR modes, as well as a variety of scenes and color effects for your pics and videos. The samples, however, are nothing to write home about, looking soft and with less detail than we'd expect from the resolution. Colors representation is on the oversaturated side and the phone tends to overexpose brighter spots. Video is recorded with 1920 by 1080 resolution at 30 frames per second. It's a fluid-looking Full HD video, but a bit bland in terms of colors. The Nature UX 2.0 has the shutter key as well as the recording button on one and the same screen, speeding up the capture. From the looks of it, the Samsung Galaxy Mega 6.3 design and weight is an achievement for such an enormous screen size, and a huge 3200 mAh battery pack inside. The display panel actually makes it a great phone for browsing the web, watching videos, reading, editing pics and getting things done with the multi-window mode due to the sheer diagonal size. As can be expected, however, a screen of this size comes with compromises, which are mainly on the handling and carrying around experience, especially in pant pockets rather than a purse. There's just no easy way to grip the phone in your palm despite the svelte 8mm waistline. And most of the time it will be occupying both of your hands, even for simple procedures like pressing the back button here. If you consider the phone to be more of a micro tablet with calling functions rather than a traditional phone, then you'll spare yourself a lot of initial confusion. Samsung is apparently not aiming the Mega 6.3 for the mainstream user, but for those who want the largest screen in the most compact package, aimed at media consumption of course. It already has a strong direct competitor in that category in the face of the excellent Huawei Ascend Mate, and if Samsung overprices the handset, it might be disappointed in the sales result of the Mega 6.3. So to recap the advantages of the phone, it's very slim and compact for the screen size. It also supports this nice landscape interface mode. And as the main disadvantage, we would point out that it's pretty unwieldy to carry and handle. This was a video review of the Samsung Galaxy Mega 6.3 by PhoneArena. For more information about this and other handsets, you can visit us at PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching.